Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And before we start the video, I'd like to make one thing very clear, that anything you see in this video is subjected to change when the update goes live next week, because this is just a test build and not the final build. Okay, so anything like uniform or the character, their stat, their bonuses might increase or decrease. It is subject to change when the update is going to be live for each and every agent. All right, so now since we have got this out of the way, we can go ahead and check this particular update. So before we go ahead and check the new uniforms and the characters, we are going to go ahead and see the stuffs which are going to impact the game heavily, and that is the new comic card and the new CTPs, which is going to change the game the way we play it. So first of all, we are going to check the new comic cards, and we will go to the card collection, and it's the Future Fight first card. According to me, if I need to rank these cards, I'll rank Lunar Snow as number 1, White Fox as number 2, and Crescent as number 3. So first we'll check the stats of Crescent card, and first stat is all attack, and the second stat is meh because it's all defense. The third stat is great. The last three stats are excellent. Actually, the options are great. It's either for the fourth stat, it's either ignore defense or attack speed, the best thing you can go for. For the fifth one, you can either go for critical rage or critical damage, and the last one is either energy attack, physical attack, or dodge. So overall, and a very good card if the all defense wasn't there. Now the second card is the White Fox card. Absolutely a brilliant card. First two stats are all attack and ignore defense, third stat being critical damage. Fourth option has attack speed as one of the main stat, and also 5% chance when attacking plus 20% increase to physical attack. So either this or the attack speed you should aim for. And the fifth stat will be either crit rate or crit dodge. So this will be very beneficial for your CTP of rage. And the last one is either energy attack, physical attack, or max HP. And now the number one card, it's going to be Lunar Snow. The first two stack, this card is absolutely filled with offensive gunpowder. Yes, so the first stat is energy attack, second stat being all attack, and the third permanent stat being critical rate. Now the fourth option, it's actually in this particular option a lot of good option has been combined in this particular option, okay, which shouldn't have been the case. So it's ignore defense, physical attack, cooldown, or 20% increase to energy attack. Why have all these three absolutely required stats in just one option? Why? And now for the fifth option, you can go for either critical damage, max HP, or attack speed. And the last option, well, it doesn't matter what you get, max to max, the best option would be all defense, and that's it. So now since we have the cards out of the way, now we'll go ahead and check out the most controversial thing in this game, okay, which is going to be live with this new 5.6 update, and that is going to be the new CTPs. And before that, the store layout in 5.6 is going to be changed, so I cannot show you the store like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly move on to the store, and now you can see the store. So I'm sure I can show you this part of the store. So this basically consists of the same thing: comic card, custom gear, enchanted urus, and enhancement type. So as you can see, the layout of the store has changed, And now if we go to the CTPs, there are 3 new CTPs. First new CTP is going to be huge, the CTP of judgment. So let's make the judgment, baby. Is judgment day. So it's what this CTP is going to do. It's going to do increase all attack by max 32%, chain hit damage by 20%, and it will going to decrease the all resistance of the enemy by 30%, and increase damage of all elemental damage by 200%. So whether be it lightning damage, mind damage, poison damage, any kind of elemental damage, the damage is going to increase by 200%. And it's not just a proc, it's for the entire duration of 5 seconds. For 5 seconds, whatever elemental damage you do, it will be for 200% damage. And not only that, the opponent will have a decrease in the resistancy for the elemental damage by 30%. So this is going to be huge for characters like Luna Snow, Scarlet Witch, Thor. So maybe now my boy Thor can achieve greatness with the help of CTP of judgment. So will this CTP of judgment judge the boy, the god of thunder? We have to wait and watch. Apart from that, the next CTP is going to be probably the most controversial CTP for PvP scenario, because this has immunity to guard break, ignore dodge, max HP recovery, and 150% increased damage dealt to combat, blast, speed, and universal. So this is one and all an excellent PvP obelisk. It provides you recovery, it provides you immune to guard break, and it provides you damage increase to all of the type like combat, blast, speed, and universal. So this is going to shake the PvP metas. Now this will be an excellent for timeline battle, alliance conquest, and alliance tournament. So if you are a serious contender, or if you play this game mode seriously, then you might take a hit back, okay? But if you are just a casual player, you don't care about alliance tournament, you don't worry about alliance conquest, then this isn't going to affect you by any means. And as far as timeline battle is concerned, come on, everybody plays it on auto most of the time, and you are still going to get the same number of crystals. So this is only going to affect the big dogs, the guys with the dog tags, the money, the big money guys. So it's going to affect them. And last but not the least, the CTP of support. Yeah, it's actually called CTP of insight. So the character who equips this will have max HP of 34%, all defense of 39%, and 10% chance this applies to all allies in the team. It will increase damage dealt to superhero and supervillain type by 20%. So this is like having your Shuri and Phil Coulson in your team. So any useless character can now become a support character for your world boss, your alliance battle, everything. So this is going to impact the alliance battle by very much. Like suppose Universal Villain Day. So this will be a very useful CTP, okay? So even garbage characters like Hulkling, so you just throw in a CTP of insight on them, and you can use them on wall boss, so your main damage dealer can deal damage while he can be used as a support. So this is going to be an excellent obelisk for wall boss, for alliance battle. This is going to change alliance battle. It's going to change the face of alliance battle. So people are going to score higher, everyone can achieve max score with the help of this particular CTP. Okay, so this is going to be game changer, guys. This is going to be a game changer if you are into this kind of stuff, right? So now, since we got the elephant out of the, we have addressed the elephant in the room, Now we are going to go ahead and check the new characters and review the new uniform. Well, we are not going to do an in-depth analysis of the characters and the uniform. We are just going to check out their skills and their bonuses. That's it. We are going to do an in-depth review for each and every character and uniform in a individual video. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out these characters. So for first character is Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and we'll check out his gears to see what kind of option it has. So the first gear have energy, attack and attack speed, so that's great. Second gear has all defense and critical rate, and not bad. Third gear has skill cooldown and crowd control. Well, skill cooldown is excellent option to max out the skill cooldown of your character, and that's being also the first stat on the gear, so that's going to help us a lot. And the last one is critical damage and ignore defense, so that's not bad at all. Now let's go ahead and check out his her skills. Her tier 2 passive is 65% increase to critical damage by 50% on critical attacks. Super armor, all defense plus 100%, great. Decrease all damage received by 30%, excellent. So she seems to be a tanky character, and her tier 2 passive is more like saber tooth. And her first attack is decrease all defense by 3 seconds, and it doesn't apply to all boss. Her second skill deals burn damage and increase critical rate by 15% for 8 seconds. Her third skill is an accumulation skill, and it also provides her guard hit, so that's an excellent thing. And her tier 1 passive is 30% increase to critical damage and critical rate. So with her, it's going to be very easy to cap her critical damage and critical rate. So if you provide her a CTP of rate, all you need to focus on is dodge, and she will be performing very well in PvE scenarios. And her fourth skill is burn damage and increase, and it also decreases all defense and stacks up to 30%, and it does applies on world boss, so that's great. Her last skill is also 60% ignore all defense and applies to world boss, so I believe this skill should be also go up to 60% when we max it out. Let's go ahead and do it. 24, 27, 30. All right, as of and I was correct, so its max stacks up to 60%. And the last skill, apart from decrease to all defense, it also provide huge buff on all attack and critical rate. Wow, 65%. And it also helps her to recover 15% of her max HP and invincibility by 5 seconds. So it's a complete package, guys, that we are getting. Now if we go to her leadership, it's absolutely pathetic. Well, nothing to say about this really. Yeah, now let's go ahead and check the second character, which is Yibbity Dibbity Doo, Gorilla Man. No, it's not Scooby-Doo, it's Gorilla Man. And he's a combat character, and he is a human, so he's not a mutant. Well, how can he be human? He is a freaking ape. What are you talking about, Netmarble? He cannot be a human. Nah. Okay, let's go ahead and check out his gears. His first gears give him physical attack and ignore defense. Second gear gives him all defense and skill cooldown. Third gear gives him attack speed and critical damage, and his last gear gives him skill cooldown and movement skill. So that's great. And as far as his skills are concerned, his tier 2 passives give him increased guaranteed critical rate by 30% and decrease all damage received by 30%. So that's great. First skill, stun. Second skill, stun. Third skill, increase character size by 20%, all attack by 36%, all defense by 30%, and invincibility by 4 seconds. So this is a great opening skill for the buffs and for the invincibility. His tier 1 passive is 15% 50% increase to HP. So that's why he is currently having a 54,000 HP without any max HP custom gears, guys. Okay, so that's great. And his fourth skill is stun, and his fifth skill is silence and shock damage, and it also removes all debuffs from him, and it is at a cooldown of 7.5 seconds. So this is going to be huge. So he is going to be an above average or a decent combat character. I won't say that he's going to be game breaking or something, but once we review him, once we do an in-depth review about Gorilla Man, we will come to know the truth. So now go ahead and check out the crowd favorite, guys. So Batman's arch nemesis Joker is in the game. Meh, that was a joke. It's slapstick, boys. Slapstick, yep. And we saw it in the live stream. He's quite different than all the character we had so far in the game, and I'd really enjoy reviewing this particular character. So let's check out his gear. It's physical attack and ignore defense for the first. Second is all defense and crowd control. Third is kill cooldown and crit rate. And last is HP and attack speed. So that's great. And as his skills are concerned, his tier 2 passive is 40% chance when attacking, increase all attack by 30%, all defense by 20%, and all speed by 1%, increase kill damage by 30%, and increase bonus damage by 42%. First skill, burn damage. Second skill, burn damage, 50% chance to penetrate everything, guys, every freaking thing. So you don't require a CTP of destruction on this guy. And then again burn damage, and tier 1 passive is revive with 50% of max HP, so he's like Jean Grey and stuff. And this one is ignores all defense. So let's see how much it applies in total. Okay, so 50% ignores all defense by 50% for 8 seconds, so that's great. And super armor and all defense by 60%. Wow. And he also give him an attack buff of 30% and critical rate buff of 30%. So this is a great skill, guys. And the last skill is slap stick tricky sick tick. What a weird name. So this is basically deals burn damage, and this is also an accumulation skill. So this is going to be very handy, and he is definitely going to be a very interesting character, and he is a paywall, and his leadership is meh. So out of all the three characters which we received, the three new characters which we received in this particular update, none of them, I mean not a single one of them has a good leadership. Okay, so since we are done with the characters, we'll go ahead and check out the new uniforms. So here we go. So first of all, we'll check out Domino. Well, she looks fabulous. Ooh la la. But unfortunately, if we go ahead and see, she only had one skill chain. Why Netmarble? Why? So the uniform bonus is 30% increase to critical damage by 100% on critical rate attack, and chain hit damage increase by 15%. So previously her third skill buff, now it is along with the buff, it's also an attack skill. And apart from that, apart from buffing herself, this also gives her an immune to all damage for 4 seconds. So now this is going to help her survive more. And this also reflects damage by 35%. Okay, 40% of the max attack. So that's great. But I'd say this is not a must buy uniform, but if you are a huge Domino fan, then you wouldn't go wrong even if you buy this uniform, because this improves her survivability if we go ahead by the text of this uniform. And now moving on to our boy Cable. Ooh la la. Now he looks absolutely great, guys, absolutely great. Now let's go ahead and check out the bonus. When skill plasma shower is used, increase chain hit damage by 30%. So that's 20% more than his previous uniform. So first skill is basically same, so it removes all the special effect like barrier, immune to all damage, etc. And then is Psi Stream Blast, which increases his critical rate like his previous second skill. And then his third skill is still the accumulation and also helps him recover max HP. And now the game changing guys, Crevel was a god in Marvel Future Fight due to his damage, and now the god has ignored all defense in his arsenal, and it applies to world boss. So he is a force to reckon with. He is a total menace. He is going to rip everything apart. So once we review him, beware guys, your phone screen, your computer screen is going to crack. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and check out our girl, Lady Deadpool. Oh yeah. So let's go ahead and check out a skill set. So it's increase guaranteed dodge rate by 10% and increases max HP by 10%. So that's great. And she has 6 skill change. So basically a tier 2 remains the same, her tier 1 also remains the same as her previous uniform. Chimichangas, ignore defense by 50%, stackable up to 50% like before, and it also ignores immunity, so means it applies to world boss. Second skill, critical rate damage increase. Third skill, ignores all defense by 55%, stacks up to 55% and applies to world boss. Also provides super armor. And now the best skill, this one, it provides decrease to all speed. It applies paralysis, which applies to world boss. That's great. And it's applies ignore defense by 55%, max stacks up to 55%, and it applies to world boss. It increases all attack by 15%, all speed by 15%, and critical rate by 6% for 6 seconds. For 5 seconds. And the cooldown is 16 seconds. So with max skill cooldown, it will come down to 8 seconds. And boy, oh boy, my boy Wade Wilson, he is muscular over here. And now in this uniform, my girl Deadpool is thick. okay, all right. So let's not get distracted. Let's go ahead and check out our boy, the ruler, the first one, Apocalypse. Okay, so Apocalypse, this is a huge upgrade for him. The first uniform, first time ever he got any love whatsoever. So now let's go ahead and check out his what are his uniform bonus. His uniform bonus is 20% ignore defense and enhances skill effect of celestial armor. So his second skill gets a change. So he summons illusions, and his third skill, he gets 100% chance to immune to all damage for 5 seconds. So that's great. Apart from that, he also buffs himself for 30% all attack and 30% all defense and 6% all speed. Its fourth skill, which was the huge face coming down from the sky, it gets changed as well. So it deals 40% bleed damage. And best guys, the best, it's mind control for 4 seconds. So that's great. And not only that, it also applies ignore all defense, which stacks up to max 50%, and it applies on world boss. So that's huge. And it also applies stun, and it's to him it applies 15% recovery to max HP for 2 seconds. So he's going to heal twice whenever he will be using this particular skill. And not only that, the best part about this skill, you can move this skill. So means you can move around Apocalypse while using this skill. as it says in the skill description, move using V-pad while using a skill. So that's awesome for Apocalypse. And last but not the least, Pharaoh's Judgment. So decrease all speed by 35%, stun for 3 seconds, invincible for 3 seconds. Okay, so that's going to be great. And not only that, our boy got a huge upgrade. He's tier 3. So it's paralyzed for 3 seconds, stun for 3 seconds, which actually never works on world boss, and he gets a 30% burn damage. Why does Netmarble bother to give something like 30% burn damage or 30% bleed damage on something like a tier 3 skill which never applies on anything, on any of the PvP modes like world boss, giant boss raid, anything? So these burn damage, bleed damage are useless, but overall this skill can do great damage nonetheless, and it has 80% chance to penetrate almost anything, and it provides Apocalypse himself a 7 second of invincibility, and it has an increased damage by 100% for one attack. So by the looks of it, what I can say is that let's go ahead and quickly just check out our boy Apocalypse, just for the sake of it, just for the heck of it. Okay guys, so we are going to see how our boy perform in the skill preview. So this is the first skill, pretty much almost the same. This is his second skill, which his clones. His third skill, wow, that's great. His fourth skill, and you can move it using your V-pad, and his fifth skill. Okay, so he has a step shifting ability. So let's quickly go ahead and build his tier 3. Once he's done with it, we'll just use the tier 3 to show how it does. So this is his tier 3, guys. This is his tier 3. This reminds me about Thanos. Oh yeah, the pool of lava. So that's it guys for today's. This was just the tip of the iceberg that you guys are looking at. Okay, and this is going to be great. So once I'll be back with the in-depth review of each and every character and each and every uniform. So until then, stay healthy, stay fit, happy gaming, and hope to see you in game soon. Bye bye.